It's the Parks and Rec.
It is? Yep,
I'm Steve Rizzo from the Titans. I think we're a topic or an agenda item.
Yeah. yep. We're just starting the meeting now.
Awesome.
You can have a seat right here.
Cool.
Okay. Did you start?
Josh.
Good. Yep,
Okay.
recording.
Okay, welcome. This is the October 11th meeting for the Park and Rec Commission. Meeting is being held hybrid due to COVID restrictions. We will begin by introducing ourselves. Myself is Jeannie Reed, to my left.
David Dadalari.
Rick Harriman.
Okay, we also have Kara Cartello and Cindy Sullivan present as staff. Okay, starting with the first line item would be public comment.
Is that not working?
I'll see if I can-
That would be, you guys are not on the agenda, so.
Like us to speak here.
Yeah, because you're not on the agenda, so you would have to just speak and then
Sure,
they would have to make a decision later.
sure.
Don't forget when you speak, just make sure you say your name and your address, please. Thank you.
Andy Reardon, 23 Woodside Circle.
Okay, thank you.
Mason Grazia, 10 Hillcrest Road.
Thank you, guys.
Scoutmaster with Boy Scout Troop 114, and Mason's working on his Eagle project. Just wanted to give an informal presentation and see what your thoughts were.
Sure.
So, yeah, Mason Grazia, Troop 114. The project I'd like to propose is to build a recreational plaything in Wally Park called a Gaga Pit for a game called Gaga Ball. I don't know if anyone here has ever heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I don't really know
So
much about it.
the game consists of, you play it in this fenced-in area called a Gaga Pit. And it consists of anywhere from 2 to pretty much how many ever people can fit in the pit. And you take a ball and you hit it around, and if it hits you, you're out. It's everyone for themselves. It's very simple to learn, very universally playable by anyone, any age, really.
Very similar to dodgeball.
I was
without
gonna
the
say.
Throwing it at your head part.
Yeah, without
Right.
killing each
Mhm.
other.
It's
Much
slapped,
like-
the ball stays on the ground, it's slapped with your hand.
Okay,
And as you can see in the photo here, like kids, some people are avoiding it, heading for the other side, and some people go after it. So it's very similar to dodgeball, except there's no teams. It's just sort of like every man for himself.
Cool YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would gear it more towards children though,
Yeah, I'd
but
say so.
anybody can use it.
Anyone
but
can join
More
in.
towards children. So what's the area size of the pit?
I believe the exact square footage of the entire pit is 24 by 24 feet.
About that.
And the pit itself stands about 3 feet off the ground.
Okay,
And it's all filled with sand, it looks like?
It's stands underneath sawdust not sawdust, wood chips for ground, and then the pit itself.
Okay, how much maintenance is required once it goes up?
Once it's up, something like every 2 to 3 years, you'd have to, I imagine, replace the wood chips, and get new ones in there to replace the old, crushed ones,
Okay,
add more.
so that's not sand, that's wood chips.
In that picture, it might be sand. The one I'm
Okay,
proposing would have
is wood
chips.
chips, okay. And do you have a space, have you looked at Wally Park?
Yes.
Where would you think?
Well, the place I've been looking at is between the bathrooms and the parking lot, in between the playground and the volleyball nets they just put in. There's a little spot where the sidewalk does a curve in the pit. I believe
is that
it'll
where
fit
the
well
splash
there.
pad is going in that area, or?
But we have to be really careful with public participation to make decisions and have a lot of back and forth. I'm just gonna say that for you.
Mhm.
But there is the spray park and there's talk about where the pickleball courts are gonna end up. And there was talk about it going in that location. So,
Okay, yeah.
just
we
for
have to-
information,
have to
like,
discuss this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, just,
What's your deadline?
for it to be built?
Well, what, your project deadline is what from what, you have to have,
for your CPC. He's
So-
trying to apply for the CPC funding. So whatever their,
But this is something you probably wouldn't do until the spring anyway?
Yes, I plan on construction for spring.
Okay,
And CPC funding is gonna be, what do you think you're gonna ask for? How much?
The pit estimate I have at the moment is somewhere around 3,500.
Mhm.
It may cost a little more, including the sand and the wood chips needed to lay a foundation.
they have this at the middle school now and they teach it in gym.
Okay,
This has been up at the scout camp for probably 6 or 8 years.
More than
And
that.
it's always a go-to spot, like a gathering spot, because a lot of kids will hang around the outside and not play. And the kids that get out actually come to the outside, sort of start refereeing, hey, you got hit, get out. So it becomes kind of quite the ruckus.
where is it at the middle school? Like,
It's hard to see when driving by, but if you're standing at the playground going towards the school curves in and it's right here.
okay, yeah, I'd just like to take a look at it
Yeah.
and see.
Yeah, and I know, YMCA camps have them and such.
Is the idea to make it like a permanent structure then? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because that looks like it could be,
Yeah, this picture is not
Yeah,
the
that's a-
exact one I'm looking to build,
okay.
but yes, it would be a permanent structure.
and it's an all-weather kind of thing? I mean, based on whether there's snow or not, kind of deal?
Like to play,
Yeah,
you'd want to play it without snow inside.
Similar to soccer, I mean, you could if you wanted to.
Yeah. right?
Right.
Okay,
You could play baseball in the snow if you really wanted to.
okay.
So it would be along those lines.
Yeah,
Played softball.
is there anything you haven't done?
Of course, yeah.
Sure, you just get yourself a bright orange softball.
Guilty of that, yeah.
Snowshoes and bread and ball.
There you go.
Do we have your information for contact?
I don't know. Would you like it?
Please, yeah,
Sure.
we can give it,
Just put it on Kara's sign-in sheet.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would be good. And when, did you submit your CPC application
I
yet?
have not yet.
Okay,
He was kind of looking for just general, like, should he proceed forward? Is this sort of a good idea in your mind?
okay,
Not, not a decision, but like, it kind of looks like it would fit in with the fun. It's gonna more appeal to kids like 8 to 17, which the little swing sets and the merry-go-round don't. So it's gonna be more of the teenagers jump into it, but certainly the little kids, I mean, up at scout camp, you'll see a 6-year-old and a 17-year-old in there playing, and oftentimes the 6-year-old will win.
okay.
So it really crosses ages and everything.
Yeah, it seems like something worth looking into.
Yeah,
It's certainly
I
not.
mean, I never heard of it
Not so
before
much like
tonight,
a
but
toddler game, it's not like a slide.
Yeah.
That a toddler would be on.
okay. Any other questions? All right, so we can reach out to you.
All right.
And we will get back to you and discuss a few things and possibly location may be one of the bigger
Okay.
things based
Makes
on what
sense.
else is coming in there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
All right. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Okay, do we have any bills or minutes to approve?
no,
Okay,
Do we get any from maintenance? No?
well, hold on, I'm trying to figure out this meeting. He's saying he can't get into the
Yeah.
meeting? So, what are we gonna do? I have two screens here, sorry, John Wally's trying to get into the meeting, so I'm just trying to figure out
Mhm.
does he wanna just call?
What happened to
This looks like I started the meeting, so I don't know, is this the same ID?
Is it 8896728?
No, it's this one, 875.
this is the, This is the one from the email.
So what time is? 875-6430-3943.
Can you say the last one?
Uh,
875-6430.
3943.
The password did.
Can't tell from him. Does he just want to call? We can put him on speaker. Sorry.
No.
You're on speaker.
I can't say anything intimate.
Or you can.
Okay, now you're not on speaker.
Can you hit that?
Okay, so. Now, 1 second. Okay,
Did you copy the invitation?
you gotta be good.
Yeah, but I don't know where,
Yeah, open up, just open up,
they don't have that. on this computer. You're here, yep. John Wally entered the meeting at 6:45. He's here, you just can't see him. Fair enough.
okay, so, no maintenance, no updates from maintenance as far as bills either, right?
Not bills,
That
no.
we're aware
There
of.
haven't been
Okay.
anything over.
Do we have
The
any
amount.
updates on anything like?
Well, when we get to buildings and grounds, I have
Okay,
a
thought we
couple.
were on-
Yep,
Sorry about
Yep.
that.
We skipped over, so we'll go to dog park.
we're gonna do the
Okay.
dog park before we
Okay.
get to that.
Okay, dog park project.
All right.
So my name is Sarah Levy from 3 Locust Street, Westfield, Massachusetts, right off of Shaker. Hopefully soon to be a Southwood resident is the goal. So yeah, I am an established LLC for dog rescue and rehab, so that is kind of the, I guess you could say, go-to as how to start it. And then I realized, hey, what a great idea it would be to possibly propose the idea of a dog park to the community of Southwick. Just a couple facts right off the bat. Actually, first I'll introduce myself. So obviously, first name is Sarah Levy. I love rescuing dogs, been a passion of mine. My mother loved rescuing animals, sister loved rescuing animals, lost them both. So this is kind of like paying homage to them. I believe it should greatly support mental health, cardiac health, overall health for everybody. If I could just say that as an overall objective. Some things that I did realize while doing some research for you guys, other than the brochures that I've handled out and riddled to tons of people throughout town. I did find through the National Park and Recs Association, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, that they did conduct a study, which is work done through the NRPA's Park Pulse. And the National Park and Recs Association study came out with 9 out of 10 Americans believe that dog parks provide benefits to the community that they serve. More than 55%, so that's more than half, have park and rec agencies that actually have dog parks established. So I guess you consider, unfortunately, one of our communities around, a couple of communities around don't. As of right now, the closest dog parks that we do have for us to have access to would be Westfield, Feeding Hills, Salmon Brook, and there's also one in Enfield. But I decided to leave that out because that's a pretty far distance. But I did want to harp on those ones that I mentioned because they are all within at least 8 miles from Town Hall where we're sitting right now. And on a busy day to any dog owner, you know that it can be kind of a pain in the butt to try to travel long distance with your dog just to get them outside to get a little exercise and socialize. So with that said, having to sit in a car for 20 minutes, drive to a dog park, enjoy yourself, and then get back in a car and return, you could look at that as an inconvenience for a dog owner. I think Southwick would be a wonderful community to establish a dog park. It hits every generation. Southwick is a growing community. It's a community that I know that they want to keep rural. And by no means do we want to overdevelop or bring, places, I understand things like Carvana and things of that nature. I am a Leave No Trace master educator. So I pride myself on that and the fact that preserving our land, nature aspect of it being respectful, keeping tidy of situations, being hygienically clean, proper maintenance, things of that nature are wildly important for something of this magnitude. This would have a pretty big impact on a community, whether it be people interested, people not interested, but it'll also bring in a lot of footprint for businesses, hair salons, restaurants, you name it, maybe even entice some people to move to the community. So with that said, I won't talk too much than I've already have. I think I listed quite a bit. I try to fill as much as I possibly can. And feel free to riddle me with whatever questions you got.
Were you thinking of any locations in town, or are you just general trying to push the idea?
Generally just trying to push the idea. I think Wally Park is absolutely beautiful. But I understand that you guys already have, or possibly have some commitments there. It was an idea to possibly present it to Wally Park, but, the wonderful thing about dog parks is they can be extremely low cost to the community. So say if we had land that was donated or land that was available through the town of Southwick, the cost would be extremely low. I mean, we're talking $15,000 to construct a full 1 acre dog park, which would be made through fundraising and applying through funds, which funds have already been applied to for next year because they ran out for this year. So we applied for this year through a couple of different dog park associations where they help you out. And then my goal is to, if it were to be approved by you lovely individuals, then I would start fundraising, which is something that I'm pretty familiar with. I've done a couple golf associations for the fire department and police department. It's not something that I'm unfamiliar with, and I don't mind being pretty personable with people. And whether it's a discretion on someone who doesn't like dog parks, I have absolutely no problem sitting down and understanding where they're coming from, or the opposite, because I get both people's concerns. I get the possible risk and I get the possible plus. There's pros and cons with everything. And I think the one thing to take away from all of this is that with a responsible owner comes a responsible dog. And that's like top priority. And if you can establish that and have that present on top of maybe somebody there to monitor, maybe even cameras, because they do that throughout various parks nationally. Got 10 written down: Texas, New York, Tampa, Clearwater, all over the place. So just ideas to help, ease the mind of the community, make sure it's not a hangout spot where people are just soliciting or, overstaying their welcome, etc.
So we had, I can't remember the organization that,
Mike-
officer.
Mike Westcott, the
Yeah.
Seeds and Grants.
Yeah. So that, we can collaborate that, but
We
Are you
did
familiar
ask
with the
for,
Stanton grants? Is that
It's-
one of the grants you were talking about, or?
No, so this one would be through it's called the Dog Park, National Dog Park Association, where you can go through, and Massachusetts also has one too, but I am not opposed to working with anybody. I'm not trying to propose this to get my name stamped on a community park. I think it would be wonderful for this to be the community of Southwick Park or dedicated in memory of somebody. I think that would be wonderful. So that would be up to you guys. It's just me basically pushing, hopefully a great idea, really. But yeah, anybody who would like to collaborate, that would be wonderful.
Has Mike Westcott done any more, or done?
he hasn't, we asked, you did leave him a message,
Yeah,
correct?
I reached out.
So we did try to hook them up.
Kind of coordinate things?
Yeah, sure.
We've got a few things going on now, but if you could
Yeah.
kind of pin down things.
And I'm
or
very
areas-
familiar with them too.
Areas you're thinking in town, it might work.
Yeah.
Because I think the last place we left it was, we thought it was a great idea. We
but
just need a place.
we need a place.
Right?
Yeah.
And as land comes available, I think we get that first right thing that we have that we
Correct.
can look at, but since then, there hasn't been any that I'm aware of.
None that were, no,
Nothing
Right.
that was feasible.
no, nothing that
Right,
was
so
feasible.
I think
Yeah.
that's right, feasibility. So I think that's like the next thing that comes up. It's top of mind for us, right,
Yes.
for sure.
Understood.
And I think collaborating would be a great idea.
But
Yeah, I would
any
love
money that you start to raise doesn't have to be spent in a certain time unless it's a grant with parameters on it.
Correct.
True, true. But yeah, if I were to fundraise solely, say figuratively speaking, this is a 5-year project. I kind of put a timeline on it. I did not think by any means that this would be done and boom, by next spring, we'd have a dog park. I
I love
like
that.
to think very realistically on that end. So even just being able to generate funds and fundraising, knowing that the community is behind me, that if we can secure land, that we would be able to put a dog park on it is more than enough for me to go out there and start very pleasantly asking people, hey, would you be interested in this? And if you would you like to attend our fundraiser, pledge, help out, anything of that nature?
Yeah, logistically, does that have to be approved by town meeting if we wanted a dog park? But it came
Well-
through by fundraising? I mean, that's a question I don't know.
Yeah, I would think that, yes.
It would
that
still
have
need to be
happen.
approved, right?
Right,
think so,
right, John?
yeah.
John?
Yes, it would have to be
Yeah,
approved
that's
by
what I-
town meeting.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought, okay.
Yeah,
So it's just the order
But,
of things?
I think you should,
Understood.
look into the possibility. I'm pretty sure that CPC funds would be, appropriate for building a dog park, but I'm not positive. And something we should, pursue with, Stewart,
mm-hmm,
who is our, we pay dues to an association that Stewart's in charge of, and that's what they do, they investigate stuff like that. To see if it's appropriate to spend CPC funds for it. But I would think it would be,
Under recreational, you think?
yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the questions are that,
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any
Yeah.
questions you'd like to email me, even if I can help and collaborate with you guys, would love to. No hesitation with that whatsoever. This is
Yeah,
all very new
Should
to me.
contact Stewart and see if, what his views on that are. Cause he knows what all the other communities in Mass done with their CPC funds.
We can,
but before they started fundraising, when we need to get it approved, I mean, I would hate to have you fundraise and then at town meeting,
If they raise enough money to, do it, then I'm sure it would pass town meeting. But
Very
I'm just
optimistic.
wondering if we can,
Challenge accepted.
okay,
help them out a little bit.
And I know from the town standpoint, right, sometimes a lot of people worry about liability when it comes to things of this nature.
that was
especially
one of
when
our
it comes to
questions last
dogs.
time. Mhm.
Yeah, so one thing that I have done some very good diligent research on, and I've contacted a lot of other dog parks throughout the United States, is it is very, one, appropriate and acceptable to post, owner liability signs throughout the park. Once those owner liability signs are posted, it is basically up to the owner. Once they step foot on that property, that is their complete liability. And that's the help with the cameras, that if God forbid there is an accident where a dog hurt himself, hurt somebody else, something happened, you'd be able to go back and at least look at that. With myself also, as somebody who's so dedicated to this, I serve as a mentor for a school, and I have tons of kids who would love to volunteer and help out. So maintenance would be very easy for this. It would be a great co-op project, I think, for both schools, because I believe the Voc and Southwick Regional collaborate on certain things when it comes to workshops and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So just an idea to throw out there, just to save costs and kind of help ease people's minds.
How about that?
so quickly looking, it looks like,
What is the ideal size for a, dog park?
So-
1 acre, you said?
Yeah, so 1 acre is very ideal. What I would like to do to make sure that everybody stays safe is have a small dark dog section and then a large dog section, apologize. And then also have a double gate when you enter, so that way dogs can't escape. People can enter as they do. If you've ever visited other
Mhm.
dog parks, that's typically how it goes. But I think the
Like they
separation,
open, they come in, you shut, and then come in.
yeah, that way you
You
don't
have
have
those
to.
in zoos for like the
Yeah.
goats and stuff.
You don't have to worry about any escapees, even though there are Houdinis out here. I've got a
Right.
Houdini, so I'm sure he could figure it out if he
Yeah.
wanted to. But yeah, ideally an acre would be great. We could work with less, that's possible, but I would like to have it be very accommodating to the community. So being able to provide a place to go to the bathroom, that'd be wonderful, especially if you're gonna be at a dog park. You never know, your dog might have a blast with its buddy for 45 minutes, and then what do? You know, you don't wanna just leave because you have to go to the bathroom. So there's some amenities that I think would be super important. And just overall helpful for everybody, especially for people in, let's say, the baby boomer demographic. It says 89% of them through that park pulse are very interested in dog parks. I think that would be helpful for people like them, you know, make amenities more easily and accessible for them. And obviously with the double gate, that helps with wheelchair access and also emergency access if you need it.
Mhm.
It looks like in 2015, Agawam was approved for funding for a dog park through the coalition under open space.
Well,
So,
That's pretty good.
there's a few in here, but I just happened to click on one and Agawam.
Over
Yeah,
at Robinson Park or Sheffield.
Yeah, I just saw Sheffield.
Yeah.
So 2015,
Yeah, that's
was
right,
when it was
theirs is right
approved.
behind the armory, I believe, or right around that area.
Yeah.
so
But
that
to
was
the
for
wall, yeah.
open space. There's a ton of articles in here about dog parks, so, I would imagine it looks like it qualifies. You just have to put it under, probably the open space, which we can look at.
mhm. I'm getting to be a pro at those CPC applications.
I'm willing to learn anything, so if you need help, by all means, let me know.
Would you take advantage of a grant and CPC or a fundraising grant and CPC, or would you just do CPC?
Yeah, I would try to do as much, everything,
Everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
as much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it'd only benefit the town, so might as well. If you can make it as beautiful as possible, it's
Yeah.
only gonna attract more people and bring more, plus on top of that, if you have a beautiful spot that you've put, you don't have to put a substantial amount to, but it allows you to have great things, like you could do food truck weekends. You could have awesome local establishments like Westfield Brewery, Kettlebread, the Summer House. Certain venues can be set up to also cater to people who, don't necessarily want to just bring their dog there. Maybe they want to enjoy other things too. So just an idea.
okay.
Yeah, maybe from here you could talk with Mike Westcott and we could maybe try to find certain places where we'd be able to put it in town. I don't know how many properties we have, different areas that
I
would
know, that's the
be
thing.
open to that.
That's the key
John, is
thing.
there any more room at Walleye Park?
Yeah, it depends on how you wanna, take advantage of it. That lower field is,
Mm.
certainly an area that's possible. That's, more than,
Would be
that's probably, 2 or 3 acres.
bathroom facilities.
Yeah. It's already got the
handicap
bathroom. Like she
parking.
said. Yeah.
All it needs is fence, that's all, and maybe trails. And some nice landscaping, which would be
And
very
cameras.
cost effective, yes, and cameras, of course. But we could, I think, through proper fundraising and explaining to people what the purpose of these would be for, I don't think that we would have much of an issue with businesses or actual
Dog park,
personal people.
pickleball, spray park,
I know.
baseball fields.
Everybody's gonna wanna live in Southwick.
Keep the dog walkers from having their dogs poop in the middle of.
There
the
you go.
soccer
Yeah.
field.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll keep the soccer clear.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's gonna be a one-stop shop pretty soon.
And I do only have function of one arm, however, it doesn't take 2 arms to pick up dog poop, so. With that said, I'm readily available. to
We
help
do
for
have
maintenance.
issues with that right now.
Well, there's probably with people with no arms that are down at the park walking their
I'm
dogs,
sure.
I think.
Yeah.
Seems like,
I'm sure.
okay.
Yeah. So definitely can do CPC.
All right, well, the start.
The big thing is that,
CPC is gonna get sick of seeing me walk in the door.
yeah, they're running.
I know.
That's a wonderful thing about CPC. it does things that should be done that otherwise wouldn't be done.
Exactly, I agree,
Yeah.
yeah. And it replenishes itself,
That's true.
Exactly.
which is great.
I think the key thing is trying to figure out where, if we're not, you know, ideally, if it's not at Wally Park, where would it be?
Yeah, location.
Mm-hmm.
I guess essentially you'd want it kind of centrally located, right? So people wouldn't have to go too far out of the way.
Yeah, you don't want it out on like South Loomis, you know.
Yeah.
No, or like up in the middle of
You
nowhere.
can't
Right.
have it around people's houses.
Yeah.
Right.
Also a valid point. So essentially in this area, in this vicinity, you know, like I'd say
Yep.
2 mile, maybe a mile radius of
Mhm.
town hall would be a perfect spot. And plus that's pretty much where all the businesses are located too, so that would be great.
Okay,
Should we put it on the agenda for next month, or?
yeah, I'm
Unless
probably
you wanna
just keep,
send an
keep it
email,
under
can you
old
get a little
business?
more information and,
Whatever you guys would
yeah,
like,
just,
I am
just
all
send
for
something
it.
back to us when you got a little more
keep
information
under
and.
old business.
we'll
I'll
get
make
you on
sure
the
to
agenda.
reach out to Officer Westcott too. If not, I can stop by the police department. I did already speak with the animal control officer,
Mhm.
absolute sweetheart. Sat with her for an hour and she said, go for it. So, at least we got some good community backing, so I guess that helps.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
so we'll keep it on the agenda for next,
I happen to have some land that could be a possible location.
the dog park near a senior center?
I do own 800 acres in
You own 800 acres in town? Wow.
Well,
yeah,
Mr. Wally, anything that you would like to contribute would be greatly appreciated.
Well,
And
I
if you
was
did,
just thinking, I got a piece of property behind, you know where Napa is,
yes,
and you know where South Again is.
yes.
I own everything between the two, and there's a field there.
There is.
Something we might be able to look at.
I could take a look at that and definitely scope it out. I'm sure it would be a very ideal place, as long as it's not wetlands, we're good to
Certainly
go.
central.
Yeah, no, that is certainly
I don't
central,
think
that's
he
for
owns any
sure.
wet- It's not wetlands, right?
It's got a brook going through it, and it's got beavers up at the top of it, but there's a lot of land in between.
That's fine. The water source is not bad at all. I know my dogs love water, so.
Yeah, that's Salmon Brook,
That's
that's that,
actually-
right?
Yep,
That's good.
yes,
That's
Hammer
cool.
does have that.
Yeah.
That would be a great extra amenity that I
Right,
didn't even, I would have loved, but I wouldn't even have thought to propose to you guys, so. Thank you, Mr. Wally, I
have to
appreciate that.
talk to Sabrina about the possibilities, but just a thought.
like
I didn't
what
even
you
know
said.
there was property back there.
Oh, it's pretty big.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah, take your time, no rush. Like I said, this is a 5-year plan, so, I'm in it for the long haul.
It could be less than that, it sounds like.
Yeah, and if it is, then that would be wonderful, and give back to the community is pretty much all I wanna do, so.
I don't know how you strategically would have to do for the town vote, but get it on the ballot for, you know, for May, unless it's a special town meeting, but I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
There is
Understood.
one, there is a special
There
town
is
meeting in
going to be one?
December, yep, first
December?
week in December,
Mm,
but
so, but I think we have to find out the particulars.
yeah, I don't think we have time to do
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
everything.
that's quite all right. You guys, like I said,
Yeah,
take your
no
time getting
rush.
back.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think,
Want to throw that out.
Yeah. But if you get a town vote, it's nicer to have the town vote and then she can do all the fundraising and everything she wants without getting it voted down and then having all this money and having to give it back or do whatever with it. Right?
Yeah, May should give us plenty of time. to
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
Get
that's plenty
everything.
of time, yeah.
I
Plan out a
I
little
love that
more.
deadline. That's like
Mhm.
wonderful.
Okay.
And plus with the winter too, there's not a whole lot you can do, obviously, when it comes to stuff like this. So,
Mhm.
and with the start of a new fiscal year means more ability to raise funds and ask for grants. So that's just even better.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
no,
we'll
thank you.
continue this
Appreciate it. Thank
on.
you.
And we have all your contact information?
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we
it's
do, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Riddled
Well,
everywhere. I
called
have
over the
business
summer.
cards,
Right here.
brochures,
Yeah.
yeah. Feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Yeah, cool. No, this is good. I
And
like
if anybody's looking to rescue a dog, by all means, reach out to me too. We've got some great dogs, so.
Enjoy.
But
Say that.
That's
Great.
But
Thank
thank you
you.
all very much.
Thank you
I
so much.
appreciate it. Mr. Wally, thank you very much.
Oh, you're very
We're
welcome.
moving in the right direction.
Thank you. sir. Oh, that just means we'll have to get you a dog. That's not a big deal.
No, that's all right.
Hey, I
You
appreciate.
can't fit one in his suitcase going back and forth, right?
Thank you guys very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. It was nice meeting
Thanks,
you.
too.
It's nice meeting you also.
Okay, next on the agenda, buildings and grounds update.
So David isn't here, but Hillary, who is doing, is kind of in charge of the department while he's out, said that she is working on getting some dirt for the softball field. She called around today to get some quotes because there's some money in the, replenish line that we have an operating budget. So she's getting some quotes on getting some dirt brought in, probably maybe at the beginning of next week. Wouldn't be here for this weekend, but hopefully next week. I don't know how much. She's getting a quote on how much she can get for a certain price. So she's working on that. And, the pavilion light fee was getting really high for Eversource because they were being left on. Like the power was being left on, so people were turning the lights on whenever they wanted to. So she has shut those off and hopefully we'll see a difference. It was like $600 or $800 a month for that. And it was coming out of the revolving account.
Where it was just being left on like all night.
What light?
The pavilion lights? Just the pavilion lights.
Aren't they LEDs?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know. But they're expensive to run when people are turning them on
Leave
and
them all night, right?
I don't think they were on all night, but they were on like probably every night for several hours and people were kind of hanging out up there under the pavilion with the lights on.
There were unauthorized parties
Un-
constantly.
Yes. There's Kara. Unauthorized parties constantly, so we had tried to address it. It wasn't,
How did she resolve it?
she shut them off.
They're
So how
off?
Kara used to do it was just shut the power off. And
Yeah,
when there was a rental who needed the lights,
yeah,
the Wally Park staff would turn on the lights and then the next day turn them off, like the power to them.
okay.
It was left on. And the
Oh,
bill
no one
was,
ever really paid attention to it, right?
so I was working on getting them shut off.
Mhm.
And that didn't happen. So now we had asked Hillary last week to just please shut them off and she did.
Okay,
Because the bills were really, I
We've
mean, I
been
did this
asking for them to be shut off. We
for a while.
Yeah.
so for future use, it'll be if someone rents a party, that's just something that has to happen where they get turned on for the party.
right now, the only people who use them in groups is Rotary. No
Okay.
one ever rents pavilion and asks for, I think one party did out of the last 3
Mhm.
years. So
Okay.
usually it's just Rotary. And that's why the staff that we used to have would
Mhm.
shut it off, because a lot of unauthorized people would be up there,
Gotcha.
you know.
Like the
Okay.
bill went from like $300 to 1 month was $800.
There's people just at night, just showing up and using.
Yeah, large groups, large
Large
parties.
groups of people under the pavilion with the lights on until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Maybe 12. We don't know. So anyway, that's been addressed for now. Hopefully it will continue moving forward. As Hillary's looking at closing, the beach and, the bathrooms, the heaters in the bathroom, several of the bathrooms are,
Water heaters.
the water heaters are broken. So those will need to be addressed. She's gonna look into that as well. So there's that. And was there one more thing? I'm trying to think of what else she said.
Is it the water heaters or the actual heaters that heat the building when it gets really cold while we're still open?
We were told water heaters. They weren't properly closed last year or closed at all.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or they were turned on when there wasn't anything in them, so it blew them. I don't really know the full story. But there hasn't been hot water apparently at the beach, at the park all summer. Which
In
isn't
any of the bathrooms?
in any of the bathrooms, which isn't a life or death situation, but it's certainly something that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed and should have been addressed, so Hillary is gonna be looking into that, and hopefully David will,
But we
continue
probably
that.
don't wanna get that done now, like before the winter, probably do it first thing in the spring, so we don't run into something happening and ruin them over the winter.
Yeah, I think
That
it's
would be
just
my
getting a
thought.
price for them would be a
Okay.
good idea, and figuring out what needs to be done, cause I, that's not in my wheelhouse, so I'm not pretending like I know what I'm even talking about right now. I'm just,
You sound like you do.
I'm faking it, so,
Yeah, I
um,
would say get
Get
prices
a
now,
quote and then we'll figure out a time.
do the work in the
Yeah.
spring,
and then where the money's coming from and all that,
okay?
so it's just a matter
We
of,
even need hot water in the bathroom.
Sanitary, John. Gotta be sanitary.
I mean,
I'm very sanitary and I never turn on the hot water when I wash my hands. So
He's a great-
It'll be cold water.
I would strike the word very.
yeah. I would say that that's, I don't know, John, to be honest, I don't know if that's a health department issue, I mean, I didn't build the park, so I don't know why there's hot water to begin with, must have been a code thing, maybe? Is that why you originally had done it that way?
Well, I don't know why I put hot water in there, because I guess when you get a faucet, it has H on the left.
Okay.
So
So
we put them in.
so it's something we can investigate further, but
Yeah,
like I said, it's not a life or death situation, but something that definitely needs to be addressed either way. Right?
Yes.
right.
Okay. So, I think that's it for buildings and grounds right now. Okay, unless you want to, we should talk about the restroom locks next, if you wanted to do that.
Get them first, so we.
Well, this is under buildings and grounds on the agenda right now, so then
Yeah, let's just,
they're under Wally Park, because they weren't actually on the agenda, so
Okay.
we're throwing them under Wally Park.
All right,
We're talking about the lot,
Yep,
$7,600 seems like a waste of money to lock them, but, how much damage do we have in a year to the bathroom?
I think it was more about the guy sleeping in the women's bathroom than it was the damage.
I think
We
it's both.
throw him out,
Well,
We
if we,
did,
well, I'm gonna keep up.
there you go.
so, do you want me to talk, Jean? You want me to
Absolutely.
present this, just
Yep,
so I can
Cause I
present?
don't
it?
know what's going on, so yes.
Okay, so, there was an issue, there has been issues for years at Wally Park with vandalism. I don't know if you know the exact, I don't know the dollar amount attached to the vandalism.
I mean, luckily, we've had maintenance when Carrie was here, was able to fix a lot of it, and I
Yeah.
think most of it had happened. You
Right,
know, the sink off the wall, the toilet paper dispensers trash, the soap dispensers, like all that, the exit signs, the ceiling. Do
Right.
you remember all that?
The flooding,
The
the
flooding, yeah.
flooding, so there has
So-
been issues, and then the issue with, you know, people being in the bathrooms in the morning that aren't supposed to be there. So when David had brought this up, he involved, Carl and the police department, and there were questions about how come the bathrooms aren't locked, but, you know, we were talking about staffing, blah, 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 so we decided to get some quotes. So Joe Didi was involved, because he was at our couple meetings ago when we initially talked about it. So he got the quote from Serview. And then David had gotten the quote from, Johnson Electric. So I did find out this afternoon that this quote from Johnson Electric, which is for 56, almost 6,000, 5,900, would be a complete bathroom, 4 bathrooms, the ones by the pavilion and the ones by the 70-foot. The ones down by the, proposed pickleball dog park, area are locked all the time. So right now we don't have them open because there's really no one down there. So it was only for the 4 bathrooms for now. And the tricky part with locks that lock automatically is if someone is inside of them, when they lock, they have to be able to get out.
Right.
So this quote, both quotes actually do address that. There is a way to be able to push out if you happen to be in the bathroom, you're not like locked in there. They're not magnets, it's electrical. So you can break you don't need a slide card or anything to get out of the bathroom. So no one would ever be stuck in the bathroom. So basically how Joe explained it to me this afternoon, Serview is the Cadillac. Johnson is the Toyota version, but they both basically do the same thing. So, because again, I needed translation on what all of this meant. So he did that for me, and he called Nick and explained it a little bit more. So we wanted to make sure people could get out of the bathroom. That was the most important part.
Okay.
So they would be timed, they would lock like 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. And then that way, that time of night, the police wouldn't have to worry about people being in those bathrooms. We do have money. We could take 2,000 out of our operating budget, and there is money, plenty of money in the revolving account to pay for the rest. And it could potentially solve that issue or not. Vandalism could happen at 9 p.m. It could happen during a game. It could happen anytime.
5 get locked in there intentionally, and you know what I'm
Is
saying?
it something you program or something that you can do remotely?
So I'm the vice president for Enfield Little League in Connecticut, and we have a very similar situation where we have bathrooms, dugout areas, and we have a homeless person in that area. The liability behind that, if that person gets hurt and we know about it, is greater than probably spending the money. And that's the risk assessment that you have to evaluate, determine whether that $7,600 that you're gonna spend potentially to lock the bathrooms to secure that is greater than paying potentially $50,000 to $100,000 for somebody got injured. Because it's still private property, correct, Walter?
No, it's town property.
It's town property, but still there's still liability potentially because those bathrooms are, if someone's aware that someone's in there, could be, say, they're just in there for drug use or whatever, not saying that's the case, it's still can pose liability, especially if there's kids there. It's just something to think about, something we considered for Enfield Little League, to make sure that our bathrooms were secure and the concession stands and things like that, so.
Thank you for that.
So what was your question, John?
I was wondering how you program them. Do you do it remotely or do you have to be in each bathroom to do it?
I don't know the answer to that question. I think they're
Didn't it say?
programmable, right?
They gotta be programmed.
They're programmable, I don't know, like on your phone?
It says right here, there's a timer with
Yeah.
timers.
Yeah, they're with timers, and there's a battery backup that Nick talked about today. That if the power goes out, obviously, eventually a battery's gonna run out, and then you'd have to reprogram them. But I would say to do it the same time every day.
You have to program each door?
That would be my guess.
Probably, or each bathroom, if it's connected somehow.
I don't think it's a terrible idea.
I would say we should
But,
do it. It's, I mean,
Technology could be such that you can do it remotely.
Should we get these questions asked and,
Yeah, but Probably Wi-Fi. To do it remotely, you would have.
You'd have to have Wi-Fi, which we don't have at
Yeah.
Wally Park, and it's been very challenging for me to even get at Wally Park. So I think. Yeah,
I would think there has to be an answer to it because these people do this all the time. So we just have to ask them, like, how do you prevent someone from being locked in the bathroom, period?
Well,
We
we got
just
that
asked.
answer.
we got that answer. They
Okay.
can't be. You can always push
Okay.
out
So,
because it's not magnetic, it's electrical.
okay,
So you
so
can just
then
push.
what
the
was
door.
our other question?
If it's on a timer, or if we,
Okay,
if it's,
So
it sounds
that's-
like if it's on a
seems
timer
like-
with a battery backup, you set it once and
Yeah, that's,
it's.
this
What
says
Nick
7-day
explained
timer
today.
here on the Cadillac. Okay, I would imagine that the Toyota probably has it too.
yes, they're
So-
they're comparable. Yes, Nick talked about it. You'd only have to reprogram it if the power went out and the battery pack died. Like if it was in a long enough period of time where a battery ended up dying.
I was thinking something like the field lights, where you just call a number and say, shut them down or open them up or whatever.
You're gonna have that at this point, because we don't have the Wi-Fi. I know you can do it, because I do it at my house, but it's connected to my Wi-Fi, right? So,
The park lights don't have, the field lights don't have, Wi-Fi
how
yet. What's that?
is that remoted into that?
It's through the lighting company, the Musco or Musco or
Got it.
the website that we go on, right? Yeah, I have an app on my
Yeah, I'm
phone.
sure they have some sort of, something hooked up
They have a
to,
SIM card. From
like a cell phone
Yeah,
inside their
exactly.
little cabinet that start them on or off.
Just to get a little
Do
fancy.
you want it on the phone for a particular reason? Like you don't like the idea of programming it?
I just wonder if it's, a matter of every single door has to be programmed separately. Like when it gets dark earlier, you can just change it, or you have to go program every single light. Or every single door, not like.
Oh, you mean for the time change?
Yeah,
If you
But-
set
time
it-
change or.
But if you set it at like 10 or 11 PM, it's not doesn't matter.
My suggestion would be to set it like at 11 o'clock, because even when it's dark, you still have games going on and there's still people there under the lights.
Yeah, I'm just looking for flexibility, that's all.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's definitely worth having it. I mean, for the amount of damage, because it seems like it's at least a couple times a year we have damage down there for every year. I think it would kind of pay for itself, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree that, we should do something. But I think we should, really look into what the possibilities are.
Well, at this point, we'll be locking them for the season in another month anyway, so
True.
I think
Yeah.
we have a little
I don't
time.
think there's
if
any
you
hurry, but.
get those questions
I think we
answered.
should do some more investigating.
And get something done for the spring.
Mhm.
gonna be a lot of activity up there this spring.
I know.
So can we, continue it with, on old business so that we can just do some updating? Yep. Yep,
That's it.
Okay.
sounds good.
I'll ask Nick
I
that.
think some of the alarm companies might have, things that, are a little more creative than just something per door.
Okay.
All right, moving on to Wally Park.
Let's just look into that. So I think it's a good
Yep.
idea to have the ability to lock them at a particular time.
Okay,
I'm just gonna we're gonna put it on, old business.
We just want the best technology, that's all.
yeah, well, we need Wi-Fi up there in order to have some of that best technology, I know, or do we, right?
Well, that's make it too easy.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll carry it, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Wally Park.
This is it.
So do we want to,
Do you want to tell John who's here? You know, the present.
sure,
You want us to do that?
sure.
Excellent. So my name is Steve Ronzullo, and
I'm Josh Santos.
so we're here from Titans organization. We were here to represent the Titans, in regards to Wally Park. So just a little bit of context. So a lot of people did the address. So I live in Suffield, Connecticut, 20 Huckleberry Hollow. You
I
live,
live in Enfield, Connecticut, 12 Christopher Drive.
we are 2 of 6 owners of the Titans organization. So basically what we have is a facility that we purchased just about a year ago, last November. It was formerly the Connecticut Mustangs. They had been there for a decade, better half of a decade. And in time, they looked to sell that organization. So one of the other members in the partnership was part of that program and kind of came to a handful of us and said, hey, we're down there every night now doing baseball camps and clinics and drills and teams and all this stuff. Certainly can't do it alone. Who wants to get involved? So Josh and I are 2 of the folks that got involved with it. So basically current state, we have 5 total baseball teams ranging from 8U up to 13U. And previously we had been playing.
What's your age group?
8 to 13U.
Okay.
There's one team that we don't have a 9U team currently, so there's 5. So we have been using the Legion, the fields on Legion Road. For the last couple of years, that Mustangs team had previously used it, so we just kind of rolled it over and used that facility as well. There were some concerns with the field conditions, and we talked to some folks, and we're looking kind of for other opportunities. And then recently, this fall, we have been made aware of potentially using the Wally fields, and now there's teams that are over there. Absolutely love them compared to the fields next door. They're immaculate. So basically projecting next summer, spring, summer, fall, based on the rates that we've been provided, it looks like we're in the neighborhood of potentially spending like $25,000 to $30,000. Now, we don't know exactly how many home games each of those teams are going to have. We are in leagues, so the schedules get generated. We might end up with 8 home games and 12 away games. We might end up with 12 home games and 8 away games. You're not really sure until you get into league play. But the way that we structure our teams, obviously, is, again, we have the facility we have to pay for, right? So we have bills, we have rent, we don't own the building. We have insurance, we have all those things that we have to pay for, electricity, all that good stuff. But we try our best, of course, to stay competitive, to charge our teams as little as possible, right? We make next to nothing on our teams. Where we make our money to pay for all of our bills is on camps, clinics, hitting clinics. Josh is our pitching coach. He played up into the minor leagues. So basically why we're here is we're seeing if there's any way that we could get or negotiate any sort of bulk rate, knowing how much we're hoping to use these beautiful fields next year, whether that meant locking in for more than 1 year, whether that meant us helping with any sort of renovations. I think there was some conversations about some dugout work maybe that needed to be done, or field maintenance. I know you guys have staff, and again, we love the place. So, but basically that's why we're here. We could dig into the numbers more if you'd like, but we're just curious if there's anything that you could help us with to basically keep our rates as competitive as possible for these kids to play on our teams.
What were you looking for, both the 70-foot and 90-foot fields?
Yeah, I would say that, and probably the softball field. As Steve was saying, that we're expanding pretty fast with teams. Most of our players are from Northern Connecticut, from Suffield, Summers, Enfield, Simsbury, Windsor Locks. We have teams now in players from Western Mass, between Wilbraham, East Long Meadow. I definitely had some contacts with West Springfield. We have a player from Southwick, Mr. King's son, Jeff King, his son Jackson plays with us. And some kids kept trying to start trickling from Westfield.
Because they used to play for the Mustangs.
Yeah, so they're all trickling into our program. So we're expanding pretty well. we want an opportunity to provide a nice, field for them. And a place that's a home that they can call, and Wally Park is an amazing complex. It is taken care of. There, when you look at being a premier program, we would say Wally Park puts us on the map to be that program because it's taken care of. And again, for the amount of money that we're looking to spend to keep those teams on the field, we would hope that there'd be some kind of consideration to kind of give us preferential access to the fields, and also to provide maybe a lump sum to help maintain those fields throughout the year. In addition to that, for a better rate, I think we are invested to help keep those fields the way they are. Seeing how the town has done such a great job with it already, we just want to, keep great baseball between Northern Connecticut and Western Mass, and try to draw some more of the kids back that have probably left to go play in other programs, probably east of East Long Meadow area. And I think probably that have trickled out to Westfield. I know Southwick Little League used to be big, according to Jeff King, and most of those kids have trickled out. I think having a premier program maybe brings some of those kids back and keeps them in the community too. So something to think about. That's why we're here. Hopefully there's an appetite to partner with our group. And that's kind of why we're here today.
Do you have any idea like how many days a week, weekends, that kind of thing, you'd be looking to use the fields? Because I think we have teams up there already that have been there many years, so
Yes,
it's,
understood. So my team in the spring will probably be there. I think once the spring comes along, we'll be outside 2 days a week at practice. If there's 4 teams out there, that's potentially 8 practices a week on those fields. In addition to, if you're looking at home games, on an 11-week schedule, we'll say half of those weeks are home games, they're double headers. If you could stack some of the teams, like the 11U team or the 12U team, like they're doing this fall, then we don't need as much access on the weekends, or we can kind of limit our home games and kind of coordinate. But again, when you're looking at 4 teams times, let's say 5 of the 11 weekends, that's 20 games or 20 events are possibly on the fields. So I think we average it out between the 4 teams up to almost about 100 events between practice and games. Might be over that.
you're talking just the spring season or spring and fall?
That's
season?
just spring.
Okay.
That would be just spring.
But we would clearly be interested in, like, we winter, we're obviously in the facility, but as much as we can be outside, we want to be outside, right? Our facility isn't the size of a baseball field.
Where's
so.
your facility, by the way?
It's in East Granby, right behind the airport,
Okay.
29 Cripes Road.
All right. Near the brewery there?
Yeah, it's AFP,
Right next to
that's
it.
our neighbor, yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's where all of our parents go when they drop their kids off.
They were the Connecticut Mustangs for,
Okay, yeah, I
A long
just wasn't
time.
sure. where
Yeah,
the
yeah,
facility
it's
was.
literally right there.
Okay.
And just a little bit more about our partnership. So 5 of the 6 of our partners are involved with Little Leagues. I'm the vice president for Enfield. Steve is the president of Suffield. We have one of our partners is the vice president of Suffield. We have the president of Windsor Locks, and we have the vice president of Summers. So we are invested in baseball for kids and development. So like I said, I think our initial market is in our towns, but I think we are seeing such a big draw starting to come out of Western Mass that we could possibly bring some of the kids back into the community that might have left. And I think, or the kids that are in the community now looking to maybe venture back out because there's the Suffield Little League program has kind of dissipated, maybe to keep them back in town, maybe in a premier program, those that play at a higher level. So.
well, they usually play both, right? They do
Correct,
Little League
exactly.
and they
So
do
that
their
is-
travel.
yeah.
Correct, yep. But I think it's, having families be in home, seeing their teams play at a high level brings a different atmosphere to Wally Park. So,
So can I ask a question? So your teams would primarily be using the 70-foot, or are you hoping that as they grow, then you'd have an 11U or 13U or 14U? Because the 90-foot is,
I think I've
For
seen
older
revenue,
kids.
they use
yeah,
the
so right now
70,
our
right?
13 unit
Right.
would play the 90-foot line.
Yeah.
And that team would progress and stay there for several years. We have a 12, we have an 11, we have a 10. We are looking to build a 9 for the spring, and we currently have an 8.
right,
So, and we have a group of, as Steve said, of younger players between 5 and 6, 7 and 8, who will eventually hopefully turn into 8U program, 9U program, and it'll be continuous throughout.
so you'd be using the 90-foot more
I would
In
say
time.
in time.
in time, hopefully,
in
as
time.
they get older.
The
Correct.
12s will go up to that field next year, the 13s will stay there, and then,
Right, right.
so, in time, our dynamic will change, but yeah, I mean, obviously our younger kids would use the softball field preferably, and then there's a handful of teams that would be in that intermediate field with a 50-70.
And you wanted the softball field too, you're saying, just for practice?
If there's, like, as we expand, if there's a need, then I would say that maybe have the option to expand over to that field as well. If,
Would there be an issue with not having a mound for you guys over there?
we have temporaries right now.
Okay.
We could always
Okay.
build that, maybe store it or bring it in. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's just having access to fields. And again, this complex is taken care of and it make us look, us as an organization look more professional when parents pay for it.
It's pretty common is that the fields without the mounds, people bring them in, and that's just a normal thing. But yeah, right now we're kind of piecing things together. So like my son's 7, so we're like in a East Windsor field on a baseball field over there. But like it'd be really awesome, like if we could try to have as many games as one facility as possible. That way, if there's weekends where we have overlap and stuff, the kids can kind of bounce back and forth and watch other games, watch the big guys play in the big field and stuff like that. Or even if there's other ball games going on over there, and the facility is gorgeous. We love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm not sure as far as what our games are like now with the other teams. I know Kara does that. Maybe if you could get us a schedule, like roughly, like you say, April, May, June, I'm looking to do.
Yeah, we could map out
Saturdays,
like fields.
just so we get a rough idea. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's kind of hard, like if we've had teams play there forever to just say, no, you're not playing kind of thing. So I mean, if we could get something roughly like that, what you're looking at?
So when Jeff stopped by, he had said, I wrote down April to July. First, he wanted all 5 days, but I had said a lot of teams that we've had for many years come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So he had said with Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the 70, 90 and softball for April through July. And then August through October, Monday and Wednesday, just the 90-foot. So that was just the rough.
Yeah,
And he
so
threw at me,
where
so
he's
I'm not sure
coming at you
that's-
from what, the only reason he dips in the summer is that some of the programs we offer go spring and into the summer. Some of them stop in the spring, and then we'll reach back out to parents. Are you interested in coming back in the summer? So each kind of team has a little bit of a different structure, but inevitably we will have teams at the same age groups we had in the spring.
Right.
Might be some different faces. Some people want to take vacations in the summer, whatever. Some things are structured a little bit differently just because of family stuff and whatever. But we will have baseball kind of spring, summer, fall.
So you probably would need the 70-foot also, not just.
And
the
I would think
90-foot,
that's when
right?
you have more conflict, I would think, during the spring when you have high school sports and little league and whatever else you might use those fields for, right? Like summer and fall, I would think there's less, just generally in the world of baseball.
We have adult leagues that play on
Oh,
the
you do?
90-foot all summer long.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, they do. They pay the late fee and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, to your point, we could
Yeah.
like easily map out kind of like won't be perfect, right? Because we don't have our schedule, but like kind of a structure of per field, how many teams would be interested in using the 90-foot? How many people would be interested in using the 50-70? How many teams would be interested in the small diamonds, right? And then we can negotiate whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or whatever makes sense.
Yeah, and then you'd also be looking at like weekend games, like
Yes.
one of the Saturdays.
The weekend, the games are
Sundays
gonna be on the
kind of thing.
weekends for sure.
The other piece too is that we try to put together a tournament which didn't really come to fruition. I think we started late on that this past summer, but I think planning for the next year, going into that, there'd be an opportunity for us to maybe host a Titans family tournament, like in the sense of bringing other towns and community into there, which would bring a lot of draw to the park. I don't know if there's an opportunity to bring in food trucks or have I don't think there's a concession stand, correct?
There's not,
There's not.
no.
But some of that money could
That's
be.
a pie in the sky dream, but yeah,
You
It's a lot of work. for
I
those
know,
guys.
I know it is. I was a
At our little
baseball
league
mom.
field, it is
I know.
it's a big ask.
But some of that money could be, like.
I was a baseball mom. I get it.
Food trucks are better.
Food trucks
Yeah,
are
there's
easier.
Do you guys allow food trucks there?
Yep.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that, and they get the permits that they need to be
Yeah.
able to be a food truck.
Yeah, okay.
So obviously that money that we raise from that tournament obviously goes to, funding our expenses, but if that's a consideration that to help draw in and maybe a percentage of the proceeds maybe from the food trucks or whatever, it goes to, again, Wally Park to help, prep the fields or for the tournament or whatever. I think we could have those discussions with our partners to kind of say what's reasonable. We still have to be profitable to pay our bills in a sense, nobody's looking, this program is not looking to make millions of dollars. That's not what this is about. This is about us providing quality baseball for kids in the area. And we have a really good following right now, and we're just trying to keep it moving.
Yeah, so we can get you that spreadsheet. I think really at the end of the day is the ask is twofold, right? Like A, can it be accommodated? And then B, if we were to bulk in that many games, is there any sort of discount or rate that you could kind of trim off, just knowing that it's a $30,000 bill for us is pretty substantial for anybody, most people. But I think that's really at the end of the day, the ask is, and again, to Josh's point, if there's anything we could do to help, whether it's donations or hands on the ground or helping with maintenance, whatever. Some people want help with maintenance. Other people don't want anybody touching their fields, right? Everybody's different in that type of stuff, but we're all baseball people, right? Like we know all the do's and the don'ts. But if you guys had any specifics, we would certainly follow them.
Yeah, let us
so we could-
talk about that
Yeah.
and see what we can do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the maintenance, I mean, if you're playing 2 double headers a day, I mean, we're realistically not gonna have anybody down there in the middle of the.
Yeah,
day.
I mean, we're used to lining fields and we're, whatever. We're baseball people. We pulling out a rake and it's no big deal.
Maybe
Yeah.
as simple as us storing our truck, and I think you guys have like a shed.
Yeah.
The store in there, and we can go down and just reline it or whatever, just, it helps us out to not have to carry logistically equipment back and forth from our main facility. So that may be helpful,
Yeah, minimal stuff. I mean.
like maybe
not
the
a lot.
temporary mound store there as well, or something like that, right?
Mhm.
Basics.
That's the easy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other questions. I mean, we certainly owe you
Yeah.
a spreadsheet with kind of like the best guess or sketch for next year, but I don't know if there's anything else we could try to.
Yeah, if
answer
you
or
could,
take
if you
back.
could get us that, we can just see what we've got for other teams
Yeah.
down there and things too, and, cause I know you got us early enough, I mean, you got a couple of months to get ready for things.
Yeah, we're just trying to get ahead of it. If there's
Yeah.
something you can't accommodate or something you have concerns with, we could go
Yeah,
figure it
that's-
out. Gives us
That's the
some time.
best thing, right? Get in front of it. So we
Yeah.
can, get it all built in.
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah,
of doing
and I
it in
think-
March and.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Kara did some good work too on figuring things out and the
Yeah,
Tuesday,
very
Thursdays, we do have a team that has been renting it for years, so accommodating around that is, we'd hate to
Easy peasy.
tell them all of a sudden, sorry, they only practice there. They typically don't play games there.
Sometime in the weekends.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
will, yeah.
Not like every weekend.
Yeah,
a
but that
couple
could be
weekends.
arranged. I mean, they're
If
usually
there's some
pretty
blocks we have to
flexible.
avoid or whatever
Yeah.
in 2 days a week, I mean, listen, we can work.
And then the
around this.
adult leagues that come in, we would hate to say, sorry,
No,
you
we-
can't.
We work around all that, right? If you
play
guys
here
have
anymore.
from Saturday mornings, but then we have Saturday afternoon games or whatever, or Sunday afternoon games and we play Sunday morning. I mean, it's nothing that can't be dealt with.
And I mean, even if that softball field is available at night, I know there's the lights piece and maybe a cost to that too, but and I'm sure some of our parents would like to see kids playing at night too.
Yeah, night games are the best.
Night games are the best.
I love those.
Yeah,
So the caveat with that, I think, who did you explain that to?
probably Jeff. the
Probably
light
Jeff.
thing.
So
He
the
tells
light
you
thing
it's
is very
ridiculous.
expensive and it's not us, it's Eversource.
Okay.
So it costs a lot. And when you have both sets of lights on at the same time, that's a double fee for us.
Okay.
So the light fee is heartbreaking for us to tell people it's gonna cost you money every month to put those lights on.
Just to flip the switch for one field, it's 1,400. Even if
Just
you used
to
it for
turn it on.
For what? For the month?
demand.
Demand fee.
for
Demand fee for Eversource is $1,500 a month.
So we gotta use them every weekend, multiple teams.
Use them a lot.
Like if you're gonna use it, you gotta keep on
So-
using it.
That's what we
Right,
try to
cause the
tell people.
usage fee is a couple $100 compared to that $1,500 or $1,600.
Holy.
Last year it was
What is that?
$2,000.
But it's
$1,500
you're
per
able to
field.
map out your
You use them at
weekends and
the same
night
time.
games.
If
There could be
you-
multiple organizations that would split that fee, right?
Yes,
We do
That's what
try
I'm
to
trying
do that. What happens is
It never seems to work.
it
out.
never seems to work
The high
out that
school
way.
one- One month, the wood that one
Yeah,
one month, and
it's-
then, it never seems to work out where everybody can use it and everybody's happy. It's always different months, everybody wants it.
Yeah,
It would be great if that were.
And again, it's not us, right?
it's not a,
No,
right.
no, it's fine. That's
We
good to know.
really,
Yeah.
we try. So there are lights on the soccer field, the 90 and the softball. 70 does not have lights.
find a way.
So like the soccer lights were on tonight, right?
Right,
So,
so
like,
they pay the
They will
whole
now pay the
fee.
month, the $1,500 and just, but they use it nightly. So we could do practice.
They're using it twice a week, right? Aren't they
But
there
it's still a
twice week?
big, it's like,
Yeah.
it's just too much to, on top of this 30 that we're, gotta figure out how to,
That, I mean, that or you
Pay for that.
potentially. Maybe see if the rec center is willing to sell some of that land and put solar panels over there to. pay-
Yeah, 'cause-
to fill-
Yeah, that's a pipe dream too, so.
That's my dreams.
Yeah.
There's always
Just
someone.
put
willing
the
to-
Pie in the sky.
well, those have gotten very
Solar
expensive
panels
the
would be
last couple
great,
years.
and we have tried to
too.
figure out LED on those lights, like there's lots of, or LCD or whatever the
Oh,
lights
yeah,
are
the
called.
LEDs,
Yeah, so there's that, and then wasn't there another issue with this bill? Didn't you want them to vote on the discount for this year, what you're paying now?
I thought that was established. If it wasn't, probably yes, I would say.
Wasn't that what
yes,
Jeff asked for,
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
discount on that fee
Yeah.
that you sent?
yes.
I think we got the normal fee, but if is there something on the agenda to vote to reduce it for this fall, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I had sent him the list of days just to make sure I was, accurate at what he was, you're welcome to that.
You know, there's some days that we need to practice due to rain in the week, but.
In front of here, so I don't know who who's not.
Yeah, so right now we're at almost 3,000. I'm just repeating it for John, who's not on. So right now the Titans have a bill in front of us for about $3,000, John, just so you know.
This is not, isn't the lights?
No, we haven't used
Okay.
lights.
Friday, he wants to use them, Jeff.
Oh,
this is going forward.
Yeah, this is going forward, because they have a couple night games that the Lebanese are trying to make up. So 9/24, our game got canceled. Can I read it? I am already writing it. So-
Two fields around at the same time.
What did he say? I didn't.
I don't know, something about the lights.
John, can you repeat that?
The demand charge is the highest peak of the month. If you only use one set of lights every night, it's still $1,500.
Yes.
About, yeah, give or take 100 here or there, depending on,
Well, yeah,
Eversource's mood.
Kind of small.
Has someone already paid the demand fee for October for softball field?
for soccer, he's paying it.
Okay, so then the charge would only be 150 for these two times.
It would be 150, but I think we said that he could pay 100 for that, right, Kara?
Yeah.
For the light fee?
Okay.
So I was asking Jeff, and I don't know, if I should have been talking to him or you guys or everybody. Because he was looking for some kind of discount for this. And I said, what were you, because I didn't think you guys were coming tonight. What were you looking for? And he was saying 20 to 25% for this, just this portion of it. So, I mean,
I would say that that's probably fair. We didn't really negotiate anything for the fall. So if you're willing to provide a discount, do you feel like I don't think we're gonna be combative on that piece.
You know, I mean, and
I think more of the concerns is going forward,
Going
what that,
forward.
what that rate would be, but if you're willing to provide us a discount, we would be very appreciative, because it does help us to kind of, maintain, our expenses and kind of look to kind of have that opportunity to help out a little bit more with Wally Park in the spring.
yeah, I mean, like just transparency, right? Like we went into fall not anticipating these bills because we were over at the Southwood Legion Road fields, right? And those were cheaper, but like the grass, you couldn't even see the dirt on the infield anymore. So we're eating this, but like we're not, like the players aren't paying for that. So anything you do to help there, fabulous, whatever is great, but that's also why we're trying to get ahead of
And
next
to
year, just so
my-
we kind of have a feel for kind of where we should be on numbers.
I'm just, sorry.
No.
I had a championship team play on those Legion fields not less than 10 years ago, 2 years in a row. And they were impeccable. Dave knows.
Yeah,
Those fields
they were
were,
always good.
it was before Wally Park was around.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. A lot of attention is given over there.
Yeah.
Great. But that just makes me sad.
It's,
I know.
I remember
it's
when the
crazy.
Southwick Sizzler tournament used to be.
Yes.
Yes,
My little
my
guy-
son
little
played
guy
in
was-
that.
Was
Yeah.
just 4 and I was helping one of the Enfield coaches,
yeah,
as they came up, the Enfield Little League came up to play in the tournament, so
yeah.
I remember that, and they were nice.
Center annually.
Yeah, they
probably.
did.
Yeah.
They
So I
did.
do
My
remember
son's
that.
team, the Mustangs won the last,
Yeah.
I forget how old he was, 13, 14, 15, 16. You, maybe?
Mustang's an awesome program. They're
Yeah.
Awesome program.
My
So-
son played with them for several years.
If I'm correct in this 150 was for the whole day, correct? The 150 per day? That's the,
Those were weekends, so
The-
yeah.
the
there was
entire
three-
weekend, right?
Yeah, 3 games.
and I think was it,
There was one, the only
Two
one.
games.
Did we talk-
communicated
did I
with
talk
me
to you
about
on the
was
phone?
2, and that one was 100. Yeah, so this is all
Like,
based on what Jeff gave me.
this is based
If you
on
only
Jeff
have
blocking out an
2
entire weekend, right? Where we may
But
just
you
need
can't,
half a day.
you can't do that though, because he's blocking it out and you're not actually playing, but then other people aren't playing, so
Correct.
I need accurate information.
I just
You know,
needed the spring. It'd
people are
probably be-
calling and like, can I use the field? Sorry, it's already
Blocked,
booked, and
yeah.
it's not, so then
Correct.
we're losing out. So if you could get something more accurate and then I can update it, that
Yeah,
would be great.
we could definitely do that.
Because with all the rain that we've had, you guys know this. I saw you guys playing on Saturday and I was surprised to see you there.
I was there Sunday.
Teams now are calling saying, can we use Willie Park? Can we use Willie Park? And if it's on our schedule that you have it, we're saying no.
I think Jeff
So-
went block happy. I think he did.
I like Jeff. Jeff is,
He's awesome.
he loves our program.
But he wanted to book everything, and if
He's-
those aren't accurate, it'd be great, because I talked to
I'm
you
gonna book
once.
everything too, but I
and
don't
you
wanna pay
said
for
10
it.
So this
Well,
could,
that's
this
the
potentially,
Yeah,
this
no, I get it, I
potentially
get
could
it.
be half of what this bill is.
And I have no way of knowing that, because
Right, we go by, like, honesty and like, oh, we canceled our game, okay. I'm not gonna go up there every Saturday and
No,
make sure the
yeah.
Titans are there or not there. I was surprised on this Saturday when I happened to be there and I saw the little guys playing on Saturday. Yeah, that was on Sunday. I was there on Saturday.
We got it together, that whoever that young college boy was, he definitely helped us. get it
Mason, he's a
together.
good
Yeah,
kid, yeah.
Good kid, helped us get the water off and we won our 2 games, so I was very happy. So,
Sunday should have been a cancel, I would
That's
say,
great that
based
you
on
won.
all the rain that
Yeah.
happened, but,
did you guys use any speedy dry?
Yes, but they used the
yes.
stuff that was in the shed.
because the
that
shed was
the
completely
softball
empty.
team won't use.
That's fine, but everybody's saying
We're
they
gonna talk
didn't
about
use it, and
I think we used like
supposed-
7 bags, 7 or 8
Yeah.
bags.
Thank you,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, we
They
did.
Because everybody's pretending they didn't use it, and we know that how many bags were in there, and suddenly they're
Really the
gone.
one that missed that.
3 bags left, there was 10 left last weekend.
And there was those are $11 a bag, just,
I understand.
okay.
I
just-
mean, but maybe that's something we can talk about, right? We provide our own speed dry and we store it there. So that way that's not coming out of your cost, right? It's out of our cost to get our games.
But the problem with that,
Other people are gonna use it.
yeah,
Unless you leave it like a
Yeah.
We had,
Yeah.
honestly,
Letting
wanted to your own
people
shed.
have-
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
we can
that's
talk about
a good
that,
shed.
because first of
I
all,
know.
you saw
I-
the shed that we're talking
I
about,
agree.
like,
Yeah.
Well, it's
it's,
because it was open for
I have a gun safe.
softball, and Mason was there, and
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of things that
yeah,
to be tightened up a little bit.
but the
You
shed,
can get
but you
one of
can
those
have a
little
shed.
Oh,
Plastic
They
or
could put
whatever,
that in
like
the
a
corner.
table or whatever, yeah.
they end up, it looks like a bookshelf with
Yeah.
doors.
Couple $100, whatever, find a
Okay.
use on.
Jeff,
Yeah, we'll be
Marketplace
so
from
In
fair.
your car?
yes,
Okay.
You can email, even if a game is canceled, right? Just,
yeah, just
but
let
if
us
it's not
know.
scheduled at all, then that's what we need to know.
Yeah.
Like canceling a game, obviously you can't,
But if it's not scheduled, you want, that's vacant for somebody else.
Right
yeah.
now, it's
Yeah.
overbooked, what he is
Yeah.
saying, this is way overbooked.
So you wanna
Like,
take
our
that
games
whole-
are- Like my games this weekend were on Sunday were 10 and 12. We were out of there by 2. So
You had two
we were
games.
9 to 2, we were out of there by 2.
so that's 2 games, so that's $50 less, yeah.
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 But we were
I
booked
know.
for 3.
I understand.
Yep.
No, I'm not
So just get us the
discounting it, because
accurate
like I
stuff.
said,
We're
I love
pretty,
Jeff, but he is definitely going to maximize what we need. even if
Yeah.
We don't need it, because he's a Titans fan, so
Yeah,
I can't blame him for that.
yeah,
well, we can send Jeff the bill.
Yeah, he's destroying our check, he's not paying the bill.
Yeah. We can send Jeff the bill, no problem.
yeah, so we'll communicate, we'll fix that up, we'll communicate on that.
Well, let's take that, we take that back and we'll get that squared, away, yeah.
Do you want 2 copies? Here you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Kara, for doing that, because
Appreciate it.
that's a lot of work to go back, and it's all electronic for us, so we can easily just write cancel on there, no problem.
When I initially joined the partnership in June, I talked about these fields and I thought that the Legion fields were these fields.
Yeah,
And so when they told me that the Legion fields were not Wally Park fields, I was disappointed because I remember how nice they were.
Mhm.
So, and they are still in the same shape, which is amazing because that was like 8 years ago.
Mhm.
yeah,
So you were definitely doing a great job with that park.
Wally Park is a
Thank you.
beautiful park.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work
yeah. We
Ton of work.
to do that, and we haven't had great staff in the last year, like not, what I mean by that is consistent staff.
Right, we've had staffing issues.
Yeah, staffing issues. The staff that are there work really hard.
Yes.
Mason is a great kid. He tries really hard. But he's one
There's
person.
only so much one person can do.
Yeah.
There is.
I know I wouldn't be opposed, I'm not gonna speak for my partners, but if like things like, opening or closing the season where you're trying to do things to get the park in shape to close it down for the winter or open it up for the spring, I would volunteer my time to come down on a Saturday to help out. I'm not a resident, but if it was, we have preferential access because it's our home field, I don't have a problem with that,
Okay.
because I love the game that much.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know, so a lot of baseball parents here,
Yeah.
right? So there's an expectation from the people that run the property that so much is gonna be done. But then there's extra things that you want done, right? And so I think we can always entertain that, right?
We try to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Communicate.
We were down there when you were down there, right? And so you saw, I was the one with the leaf blower, right? Trying to blow freaking water off the infield. And, we sent the guy over to you guys. Cause you had people from coming out of town and we're like, we're gonna do the best we can, right?
Yeah.
Would you entertain like things like tarps, like maybe
Yes.
tarps to put down?
That's what we would,
Jeff
right?
already has our maintenance staff doing that for your next game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the 70-foot field will be covered for
He
the
said, can we
weekend.
get tarps like the 90-foot?
And
Yeah.
Hillary agreed to that, so she's putting tarps on.
I don't
Oh,
think
that's
yet.
It's probably one of the drag ones like they had at the Legion Field, right? They had a tarp and we used to put it out and then we would drag it out and put it over behind third base.
So some of it is the philosophy of who's running
Yes.
Wally Park, and that is sometimes not in our control, meaning Kara and I. Or real,
Dave Sutton.
I'm just making a general statement
Okay.
that it depends on who is in
Very
charge,
ambitious when I met him the first time.
huh?
Dave was very ambitious and very helpful the first time I met him down there.
Sure,
Season.
yep, but there's baseball people, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people who are trying to learn.
Yeah.
And grooming a field means something different to baseball people than to not baseball people. So it's just trying to get on the same page and trying to figure out how to maintain a field.
Mhm.
So I think that there's some discussions that need to happen and some work and figuring out moving forward how that's all gonna look. So you're asking a lot of great questions, but I don't know if we have all the answers for that right now.
We
based
don't, but
on-
we can get 'em.
That's,
We
Yeah,
could
fine.
get them and we have, and winter's coming.
Yeah, right.
So you're here and I think we're all happy
A
that,
tarp suggestion would be fine. I wouldn't mind a tarp suggestion. or
I think
what do you
you'd maintain
there's-
your fees more often than not because we wouldn't have rainouts, right? And us notifying maybe East Shore League saying we have tarps on our fields, we will be ready to play.
Mhm.
So that way those teams wouldn't cancel on us.
what kind of tarps are you talking about?
Yeah, but you
Those
just
things
said
are
something
huge.
about a
No,
rollout
like-
tarp.
No, I was just asking that question, but I mean more like mound tarp, like.
Oh.
we have those on the 90
Yeah.
foot, but they weren't being used.
Yeah.
So Hillary has put them on in the last 2 weeks. And I think, it definitely helped with the team that needed to play there,
Yeah.
for sure. But tarps can be a pain in the neck to take off. And then they lay on the grass and if it's sunny, the grass dies and,
Yeah.
you know,
It's just like
right,
anything
with
else.
tarps,
Yeah.
right.
You have to maintain, you have to know.
Yeah,
have
so
to
you
know
gotta
the
have a
tarp.
plan.
Yep.
So,
Maintain the maintenance.
Yeah.
You do.
exactly. So it's like sometimes it can be like a comedy of errors of what happens at a baseball or softball
It's all a
field.
lot of work. So
Cause it's not a soccer field where you can mow it, line it and,
See you later.
I
Yeah.
I remember the days at UConn when us players had to pull the tarp off for coach. Because we had a doubleheader, or St. John's coming into Rutgers, we would just have to run the tarp from the infield to the outfield to drag the water
yeah,
out.
well, Babe Ruth, that's what we
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
mean, my son did it for years. The kids do it, right?
Fun.
They're
It's
they're
fun,
little,
actually, right?
they
You
don't
got
mind
people
getting
hiding
dirty.
in the
Yeah,
tarp,
exactly.
The tarp, right? It's like-
Yeah.
That's right.
So there's a lot of possibilities, I think, so,
Yeah, and we don't need all the answers, and wherever we land for early next spring, we adjust as we can figure
Well, it's
things
good to
out,
get
right?
started
Like,
now.
yeah, exactly, so.
Just trying to show excitement about maybe having an opportunity partnership. I think that's.
Oh, I think we're excited too. We just.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are
fit-
excited.
We
We
wanna
just
fit
have to temper
everything
it
in.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, realistic
Yeah.
and.
But honestly, I've been in your shoes and I think it's a great idea, trying to put everything all in one location.
Yeah,
It's good because it also helps with your scheduling. Like you said, you don't know if you have 8 away and 12 home or vice versa. I know when we used to do it, we would go to the scheduler, we would say, hey, look, do what you gotta do. But have you seen our fields?
Yeah.
Right? And we got, a ton of home games.
Yeah.
Because of that, and it's certainly not,
Mhm.
right? So,
Well, yeah,
We get
I
it.
played at New Haven a lot.
Yeah, it's.
Those fields are interesting fields
Yeah,
to,
tough.
Still interesting.
yeah, to deal
Sure
with.
are. Nothing's changed.
Same as
Yeah.
walking up the street, yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on where you end up and you want it to be nice. So,
But when I have a reputable program, like, it's nice to come to a nice field,
Mhm.
right? Versus come to some of these fields you walk around to and everything.
yep.
sure, that
Depends
helps
on
with
the
your
number.
drawing, your recruiting.
That facility is exactly that, right? It's very, very nice.
Yep.
So,
Cool.
cool. So we owe you some sort of spreadsheet. We'll do the best we can
Sure.
and get you
Well,
that in the
that
next
may- yeah.
week or
Yeah, send it to
whatever. Yeah,
Kara,
yeah, the group, right? We'll get you the group that.
We have
And then
time to
we'll
talk
kind of
about it.
continue conversations from there, kind of see where it goes.
Mhm.
Is that fair?
Sounds like a plan.
Sure is.
Good evening, Mr. Wall, if you're still on. I don't think we've introduced ourselves, so.
I'm still here.
Okay.
What do you think, John?
I think it's a great opportunity.
Great.
Just so you know, with this past summer, one of my players' uncle is friends with Jeff Fry, former Red Sox second baseman, and he came to one of our games, and my team for the summer, before I joined the Titans, played against the 11U Titans team. So that was a wonderful experience to have two teams and kids around that, sign some baseballs for the kids. So
It's
we're
exciting.
gonna try to get him back again this upcoming year. So, stuff like that definitely is a draw for the community too,
Yeah.
so.
It's
That's
exciting.
great. And on Saturday, there is a breast cancer softball game at 12 that police and fire are playing against each other.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's very
So if you
cool.
guys are up there,
Yeah.
it'll be fun. I'm announcing.
Are you?
Are you?
Nice. We'll come heckle you.
Apparently I have a script. It'll be fun. It's nice to raise money for a good cause too.
Mhm.
And police and fire watching them battle it out will be fun.
Good entertainment.
All right.
Good deal.
So
Good.
be in
Thank you,
touch.
guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate
thank
it.
you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll
Good
be,
luck.
we'll be talking a lot.
Thank you.
Your time.
Do you need contact
Nice to meet
information here?
So I
You-
have
you have-
this.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Wally.
right, yeah, as long as you have
Okay.
those.
Okay.
Cool.
And
Thank
we
you,
don't-
guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we know
It's
Jen.
hard for barging in right as you were starting the recording.
No,
That's
no,
all
that's
right.
okay. You didn't know. Yeah.
No problem.
Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
Thank you,
Yep.
guys.
All right.
All right.
that's nice. Shake it.
We can use
shade
that.
sale? Did we have any updates?
We don't.
Okay, so can we, keep it, on the agenda?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Trunk or treat update? There's
Kara?
a date set? Trunk or treat? You got
Yes.
some
Yes,
good info, right?
yeah. The Girl Scouts are gonna, what's the date? The Girl Scouts are gonna do it again this year.
The 28th?
We didn't have any leftover candy tonight?
No.
I mean, there's
We
no
will
joke
after.
here. There's- What kind of these things? Joe was gonna be here with that.
Joe tried to get on to the
Okay.
call and something.
Well, I don't want Joe remote, I want Joe here.
up and I used to have that problem.
So yeah, the Girl Scouts wanna do a trunk or treat October 28th at the park. They're gonna do it a little earlier because it gets super dark up there and they don't want the lights on because it kind of ruins
What
the
time
whole
is that?
mood. I think they're gonna do it 4 to 7 instead of 5 to 8. I can get you.
Oh,
the
I have
exact
the-
time.
No, I was just wondering.
And we're gonna donate
I have the
candy
picture.
again this year.
Yep.
Cause they go through a ton of it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so. And same thing as last year, just a little earlier. And the Girl Scouts will be putting it together, so.
I was just looking up I found it, here it is. What? 4:30 to 6:30?
4:30, 6:30.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Costume thingy. A costume, prize thing. Yeah. And the rain date is the 29th. For anyone who cares. And something about bringing a carved pumpkin for a contest. And then those pumpkins are gonna go to the food pantry on display until the 10/31 to help raise money and donations for food pantry. Great, cool. All right, good. Just, I need to go back to the shade sale, I think. Did you have a comment that you wanted to make?
I wanted to go one back further than shade sale. Well, I didn't want to leave Wally Park yet. Everything kind of happened quickly.
Oh, all right, well, any other Wally Park business we need to talk about?
Rugged Maniac is on there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I checked it off, so
Cause in your mind it's done.
unfortunately. Okay, Rugged Maniac, is there any updates?
Do you know if we,
No, but I could ask, I could reach out and ask.
okay,
However, I can tell you that that someone said to me, well, now we know why you guys don't park there or don't do it, cause there wasn't really that many. I said, well, sorry, that's what,
yeah.
we tried to tell you that. Also, when I went to drive to work the Saturday, I was to be to work for 8 o'clock and there was people already going in there and there was nobody taking money. So they should have had their staff there a
If they were
little
gonna be
bit
serious, you gotta
sooner.
get there before.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, you
don't
gotta get there
know
at 6:30
how much they
sometimes.
made, but I guess I could reach out to,
I tried asking, but
Do,
I didn't
I mean-
get an answer
oh, okay,
from JB because he wasn't there.
okay.
do we care?
We're
No.
supposed to get.
We're
10.
supposed
No,
to
we
get
were,
10%.
we asked for,
Yeah, that's,
we negotiated a
$100.
10%. That's probably about all it'll be. But we'll see,
Well, at least we weren't there.
right?
right.
I would imagine that it should be put on the agenda like 2 months in advance next year so that we can discuss it. We can also alert folks, and also even though I know that we said we wanted to talk to the Rugged Maniac people, we should probably maybe sooner than 2 months, but see about what's the deal is with
Yep.
their parking.
They probably
They
sell
do the
tickets
prepaids.
a lot more.
Right,
They did not gonna change that.
correct,
They make all the money.
correct. But if they do the prepay, we're losing out.
Big time.
Right, so that somehow needs to have a discussion and a
Yep, we're gonna
negotiation
do that,
needs to
yep.
happen.
I
So
agree.
we'll figure that out. All right. Was that it? There was something else.
No, you didn't wanna leave Wally Park.
I
Right,
don't want to leave Wally Park.
okay, and we're not gonna leave Wally Park. No, anything else for Wally Park?
Yes, please.
Go for it.
Want to talk about a couple things that happened over the last couple weekends. This was brought to me by the softball people, so
Mhm.
Stacy, Brian, and others. So number one, the grass that's been cut is being put back to where we asked them not to put it back to, which is along the first base line.
Yep, we know.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna tell you a lot of things you don't, know that you already know then.
It's being addressed.
All right.
Again,
Yep.
Okay. A couple things you may not be aware of then. The Speedy Dry that is bought for the fields
Yeah,
is actually not Speedy Dry.
okay.
It's, if you read the bags, it's for floors, cement, driveways, things like that. It specifically says on the bags, not to be used with recreational softball, baseball fields and stuff like that. It's
Okay.
basically gravel.
I don't think Hillary was aware of that. I will make her aware of that.
That is, I mean, it shouldn't be used. I
I'll
think
ask her to get the
dangerous.
stuff that we got on Amazon a few
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah.
I will ask
Clear it
her.
up.
Yeah,
So, do you want me to explain that?
Sure.
So last week, we knew it was gonna be rainy.
Yeah.
And when she had gone up to Wally Park, the softball shed was open, the lock was gone, and it was completely empty.
It's great.
I know that Speedy Dry had not been purchased before that. But Hillary did wanna make sure that you had it, so she went to the closest place and got it.
Napa. Okay.
So that's why it was that. I did not
If you don't
I don't-
know, you don't know.
I don't think she knew, I didn't know,
I'm not
And
actually
she was
blaming
trying to-
anyone. I'm
I
just
think
saying.
she was trying to,
Stock it and
do
do
the
the right thing.
she was trying to do, we didn't know that it was open and the lock was missing, so that's why we sent the email out and
I
the
got the code.
text
Yeah.
that there was a new code with Speedy Dry in it, so she was trying to do the right thing. So she did buy more of that. I think I think she bought more for this weekend, knowing it was gonna be rainy. I'm not sure. I can check with her tomorrow.
Okay.
Forecast is
Um,
looking better now.
Yeah, so that's why that happened. But then someone had said that you had purchased Speedy Dry?
I didn't, but Stacy.
Stacy usually
But-
does.
Did she just bring it there and not leave it in the shed? Like what?
Correct. She's got it. She's just like, listen, I don't,
You can't-
it wasn't there. Now it is here. It's not the right stuff and we need something. So she bought some stuff.
Okay,
Which she's done in the past.
Oh, on Sunday, she bought stuff?
She bought it on, I think, Thursday. And then we used it on Sunday.
Gotcha.
and then I think the Titans used some of what was already,
All that was
Nice.
used, all that's not in the shed was used by the Titans. I was down there with Jeff King at 7:30 on Sunday.
okay,
And Jeff and I had a conversation. I said, use what you want to. Stacy's bringing some stuff for this field.
okay, okay. And there
I
was
didn't even have to
supposed,
say that because who's the kid?
Mason,
Mason had already loaded up his little go-kart thing and and I was like, okay, I see what's happening. It's all good.
so that,
But I was there.
so there was supposed to be 2 staff there.
Yeah.
And what happened was they texted each other and one said they didn't need the other.
Oh.
Instead of listening to the directive. So we're again.
It's okay. I made the call to send him there because I saw there were out of towners coming. And Stacy was like, it doesn't matter if they help us out anyway. We're not gonna be able to play the first 2 games, which were mine. Right? So let's just start after that. And it went okay. But they were supposed to be there. Hillary said they would be there at 7.
Mhm.
They weren't there till 8. And then they helped the baseball guys, and there was only one, so they couldn't have helped us. They didn't get to us until 11 to line our fields, and our game was set at 11. So, and I left at 10:50. Well, actually, I left at 11. He came over, do you need any help? I'm like, thank you. We can use lining the fields now.
Yes, that was a miscommunication and that was. She
We'll get it
didn't
worked
know,
out.
she didn't know.
I'm
Maybe
excited.
by November we'll figure
I'm
it out.
excited
I don't
I'm
know.
excited there's a Hillary involved now.
Well. For now.
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
could-
excited
that
about.
Could change. I mean, David is coming back. I mean, he's away right now, but
Okay.
planning on coming back. So as far as I know, I don't know anything different at this point. So anyway, she was trying,
I
but
know,
but I'm just gonna make one comment. Sometimes the games just need to be canceled.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
So-
Listen, and there were 2 games canceled.
Okay,
And nobody's complaining about having to do the field because I was down there. You know, we're all doing what we can.
yeah,
But we don't have the stuff to line the fields. And people do get a little angry when it looks like it's a foul ball and it's not. I'm not one of those people.
yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
Well, you are there. I mean,
What
you're
the
paying to
umpire's
be there.
for.
I get it.
The umpires are doing the best you can. You can yell at these guys, but they're hard of hearing anyway. So, you
Yeah.
know, they're old guys like me. They hear what they want.
And we want you to play. We're just, it's a constant battle that
I know.
we have, again, we try.
I'm just bringing you, and then the one other thing, and this is a longer term thing, but the earth has settled on the fencing, and so we need someone to look at realigning the gates because at least 3 of the 4 don't close or don't close easily. You know what I'm talking about, like stepping out to bat, and it's a
And they-
safety thing.
They're put on wrong too.
Yes, they were not hung correctly.
And they've always been put on wrong, but if you're gonna fix them,
Fix them
you
right.
should
Yeah.
put them on right.
Yeah, put the hinges on right and, yeah.
And it would be due diligence to probably use the fence company that put them in, since they put them in wrong to begin with.
Right, and then the fence behind the backstop is curling like they all do, you know, they could secure them with either
Those
cement or
Metal,
the metal.
can't they use
clips.
those metal
Yeah,
clips?
exactly. Yeah,
I would imagine it's probably gonna
just
cost some
pointing
money,
out some
but
things.
Mhm. Yep.
Anything else?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I like,
Rant.
yeah, no, it's not a rant. It's the reality of it, right? And I wish I could send people up there to do it. Hillary has been trying to do that in the last 2 weeks.
I love it.
I mean, David was working on it, but he's not here. So
Right,
she's
exactly.
kind of-
Someone needs, yeah.
she has been thrown into it and is trying to figure it out.
Okay, cool.
But we do
I'm-
need staff up there, which is another
I
issue.
rest on Wally Park.
No, those are good things for us to know.
Okay. We're done with
Mhm.
Wally Park? All right, rail trail?
They had two counts scheduled for the last couple of months and both of them got rained out on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
The Friends of the Rail Trail group is looking for new members, if anybody knows anybody, because they're really dwindling on people, and I think it would be worthwhile if anybody knows anybody.
Could you
That's-
post that on the
I
Facebook
can, yeah.
page?
Yep.
I mean, because they've been a ton of help to us over the years, and it'd be a shame to see them go.
You know the contact information, right? I wonder if I can put Carly's is it Carly?
Christy,
Christy. Sorry, I don't know
I've
why I
got her
wanna call her
number and
Carly.
email if you want. I can send you that.
Yeah,
I think
we should
that would
check
help.
with her
I'm gonna
first.
check with her first before I blast it out on Facebook
Okay,
that,
I know she had mentioned to me if I had any ideas, I told them to post something on all the kiosks if you want, and
and what
That's a
about
good idea.
tagging the community pages? Can
yeah, I
you
can
do
do
that
that.
with your post?
Yep. I just do a separate post under my
Oh,
Facebook. A page can't post on a page.
okay,
So I just
I
do
don't
it
know.
under, when I do it, I just do it under my Facebook page,
okay.
which
Got
is
ya.
fine. I can do that.
Sure. Sounds good.
And the only other
We'll
thing,
get her
I'm
permission
still
first.
talking with John Goddard about getting some kind of access thing for the trail, some plan. I want to get quotes so we can apply for a grant.
Yeah, that's gonna be,
In
that's gonna
January.
happen like that.
Yeah, well, I
Cause
was,
the holidays.
who was originally gonna
Oh.
have something for me for October. I was hoping to get estimates next month and then see the finance for it.
Did you get the email about the seminar?
You sent me something,
I did
email
not get
quite a
it.
while ago,
There is.
but if
oh,
you,
God.
if you got
What-
one.
Do you
wanna
do you remember
forward
the
to me?
name of the woman? Jill? Is it Jill?
I still have yours on here that you had sent me.
So I think in a week or two,
Mhm.
there is a webinar. I said seminar, but I think it's a webinar on the trails.
Can you send me that?
Sure,
Can you send that to me?
sure. The only problem is, and it could be my problem, is that, I don't know what she did, but it looks like it's a click here to sign up and you can't. So I was gonna go to the actual website to sign up for it.
What's it a webinar about?
The rail trail grants,
Oh,
like how to secure them and how to do things with them.
But I think we
So-
would have a pretty good chance with it, especially doing
Mhm.
parking if we put in to
Mhm.
try to access the businesses on the
Mhm.
lake.
Yep. So just send that to me.
Sure, just give me I'll look for it tonight while I'm
Yep.
hanging out and I'll forward it to you guys, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
And then, yeah. Okay. All right,
And that's it on the rail trail.
thanks. Okay, fireworks fund,
I don't know if you wanna talk about that tonight or next.
I was, I was hoping that we could implement our fireworks fund back into our budget. Because,
if we don't, it won't be there.
correct. Correct.
So you want it in the budget process? The
Yes.
14,000 that Joe said it would cost.
Yeah,
So I think if you just made a motion and a vote on that, then I'll
Sure.
just put it in the budget and we'll see what happens with it.
I'll make a motion.
Don't look at me
to-
like that. Joe's gonna do everything.
I'll make a motion to
They already decided.
approve or go for $14,000 for a firework fund line item
I will
in
second
next year's
that.
budget.
all
I will second
right,
that.
and we'll take a roll call vote. Jeannie Reed, aye.
David De Lori, aye.
Rick Hammond, aye.
John Wally,
John Wally, aye.
thank you. Okay, unanimous to approve a request to implement a $14,000 budget for fireworks fund. Okay, into our annual budget.
Which Joe Didi has assured that Southwick Civic Fund will do all of the legwork for, and we just have to pay the bills, Kara.
Yes,
That
That
you're
is
a little more
correct.
excited than she was 30 seconds ago.
That's what happens when you miss a few meetings in a row.
Yeah. That's what you got again.
Okay,
well, the select board is aware of it.
they are, yep. Mhm.
They are definitely. Okay, good.
They can just say yes or no. I
right.
mean, then,
Yeah,
then it's up to that's a town decision.
Correct. Okay, moving on to the Old Town Beach.
There's no update on that.
All right. Status quo then.
Mhm.
Okay, any old business?
Just quickly, spray park update. We are ordering the components to the spray park probably in the next few weeks. There's another meeting on October 18th. We are looking at Crestview being able to do the whole scope of service so that we potentially don't have to go out to bid because they are already under the town contract. Right, John?
Yeah.
And I think things are just moving forward. That's really
well,
it.
that's good.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Sounds
think
good.
we're still waiting for, Crestview to get back with, terms of, the subcontracting part of it. The electrical and,
Yeah, I think Rob had to send them some specs, so I was gonna send an email tomorrow with everyone's little tasks that they were gonna do, so that everyone was on the same page. So look for that tomorrow. I know you love my emails.
I
So,
think that will, I think that'll all go through.
yeah. So it would be great if we didn't have to go out to bid and Crestview could just do it.
Get her done.
Yeah, and we would just pay them to do it, but they wanted to see the specs and everything, which Rob Levesque was going to send them all of that. So it has begun without beginning.
Well, that's good.
Sounds good.
And then pickleball real quick was approved by CPC. There's warrants being developed right now because there is a town meeting in the first week in December. So it will be on that warrant to be approved by town meeting in December. So hopefully things will be in place to move forward in the spring. So there potentially could be a lot of activity up at Wally Park
That's good.
Sounds
and at
good.
Christie Park if it all works out.
Right.
And Cindy did an excellent job at the presentation at the
Oh, thank you.
CPC meeting. And she had quite a few people in support while she was there.
That's great.
Southwick residents and out of town residents.
Wow, fantastic.
And they wanted it built tomorrow.
They
Oh, yeah.
did, yeah,
Already.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah.
then they didn't
They're
understand,
serious.
they
The
didn't
process.
understand the process of the warrant articles and we had to explain that, so. But it was good,
Yeah.
good job.
Thank you. I think it's great that there's a special town meeting,
Mm-hmm,
because then we can just put it on there and hopefully move forward in the spring.
just nice.
Yep.
New
Have
business?
we decided where it's gonna be?
Well, I think we have to talk about that, Mr. Wally.
Next to the dog park.
I think John's got some land for it.
Yeah. I think, maybe after it's approved, we can make that final decision. I mean, I know. I think we're close. John wants it at the bottom, but then there might be some issues with wetlands and trees, which
Bottom.
pickleball people don't like trees.
The bottom where?
The lower field
Lower. Yeah,
at Wally.
the lower. Actually, after the cul-de-sac over there
Oh, jeez.
is where John would like it, correct, John? I don't wanna speak for you.
Oh, I don't really care where it is.
Oh, well, then,
Changes everything.
that could be a win for me.
Next to the dog park?
out of the way from everything else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is loud,
Yeah.
but, I'm open to anything.
The hill
I
there
mean,
should
the
dull it down a
choices
little
would
bit.
be, that area, just beyond the cul-de-sac. The, flat area down below,
The flat area is what I was
or
thinking.
the other possibility is the
ideal.
T-ball area.
Oh, the
Which is
T-ball
not-
area was brought up at the last meeting. Well, at the spray park meeting, we talked about pickleball too, so
Oh,
in the T-ball area. So I think
The
we,
T-ball field is not being used, and it doesn't seem like we're maintaining it at all. For good reason, because like no one uses.
right,
The egg hunt once a year.
right,
yeah, right.
so I think we just need to make a final
And we're gonna
decision
have
at
to
some
change where our
point.
Egg hunt is too.
So maybe in December, we can decide or talk about
Okay.
it, or January, before it gets built, I
Do you have any
mean,
thoughts on
clearly.
it, Rick, since you're the expert on that?
We have to decide where we're going.
Right, before the plans go out, we have to decide where we're putting it. And the key thing for people who already are invested in it, and I'm not a pickleball player, but is for expansion later, adding more courts up there. I'm just saying what, we haven't even done it yet, and people already
Okay.
wanna expand it.
Correct, but we have surrounding towns, we're gonna have seniors and we're gonna have
I know.
public use it here and we're gonna
I'm
have
just
it
telling you what I'm
in
hearing.
Wally Park. Not everybody likes pickleball.
I am with you on that.
You're right. Not
think
everybody
that's-
likes pickleball.
No, I
But I
think,
will tell you, like, my pickleball thing has been blown. I've got an app that has people in the area and it's been blown. They are just clamoring for more space.
the
They are-
novelty's gonna wear off soon and it's gonna look like
It
the
hasn't
next,
yet.
well, it's gonna. I bet.
You hope it does.
It's like the batteries that die out in the Christmas gift. From opening your Christmas gift and
The dog park on top of that.
Right,
good,
yeah.
that's what'll happen.
Well, we're not naming the parks after you then. Gina.
Yeah. If you had a,
There's no
softball
Jeannie
or
Reed
field hockey
Waldron
or-
Dog Park.
no, it's okay. I don't need-
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Good.
You done?
Can I just add something for new business?
Yeah.
We need to put, the children's Christmas party, ideas on the agenda for our next meeting. Or did I read your mind or, okay,
Yeah,
so
it's gonna,
We were
yeah.
talking about it.
it's
yeah.
October, we at least need to figure out what we wanna do, are we, what do you call it? What's that word I wanna use? Are we, combining like we do?
I
like we
started
have with
talking to
Civic?
Joe. Yep.
Only if
Okay.
We can have Santa.
Yes, we need
We can't
Santa.
have Santa, we're not. counting.
Who is
Okay.
Santa?
Well,
we want-
Santa is the magical man who comes
Oh,
from the
you-
North Pole.
Santa's helper.
Do we
Volunteers.
still have that same man that comes?
No,
Oh, we
so
have
we,
somebody else.
yeah, we did it with Joe
We
last
did it
couple
with
years,
Joe the last 2
Okay.
years.
Alright.
and he hires somebody or knows somebody.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
so-
last year it was divided. Santa was upstairs, the presents were downstairs.
Mhm.
So I have already discussed with Mr. Didi about, we need Santa and the presents
Yes,
to
Same
be with the
location.
crafts in the same location.
Yeah,
I was looking for an excuse to grow my beard.
Otherwise,
Do it.
we would discuss separating it, which is not a big deal, but I think he still has an interest in keeping it together. So we need to figure that out.
and you can't have two Santas in one building. That's like having.
That
Mickey-
would be the magical
It's like having
part of
Mickey
Santa.
Mouse.
Yeah, you can't have two Mickey Mouses in the same
They
building. or
never do.
Two Cinderellas,
Nope.
like you just
Maybe we could
can't.
just hire a couple of elves for down here.
Yeah,
I think that we just need Santa with the presents.
Yeah, and if it's not gonna work, then we just have to do it a different
We'll
night.
do it a different night.
Keep it the park and rec party.
okay, so here's what we do. We put it on the agenda for next month and then we
Yes.
can talk about all of
Yep.
that fun stuff.
Yep, we can.
Cool.
Yep,
All right. Since
absolutely.
it's not,
I'm gonna
Yep.
sign my brother-in-law up to be an elf.
okay,
Yes,
all right. So
Elves are
throw it
good.
on the agenda.
Yep.
And we'll talk about all those particulars. Okay, so do I, have anyone offering a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn our meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Right?
Ah,
Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.